So welcome you all for the Molecular classes. We are discussing the chapter dual nature of matter and radiation. So in this yesterday, we have discussed regarding Einstein photoelectric equation and Einstein explanation for laws of photoelectric effect. So today I'll discuss what is photoelectric cell? Photoelectric cell, which is also called as photopump. So describe the construction and working of photoelectric cell. Write down the applications. Important question for 3 marks. So what is this photoelectric cell consist of? It consists of evacuated glass or quartz chamber. So what will be there? Evacuated glass or quartz chamber will be there with this. And in this one semi-cylindrical cathode and a rod like anode will be there. So this rod will having, this is of cathode and this is of anode, a rod like anode. So it having one insulating base will be provided. Insulating base with the pins will be provided. The pins are provided. So through these pins we can connect this to external source. The cathode is connected to, so battery negative end, like this set of batteries will use, and anode is connected to, so battery positive end with a microammeter. And here, so this cathode is allowed to expose the radiation. The radiation of suitable frequency is allowed to incident on this cathode. So this is the construction for this photoelectric cell, which is also called as a photopump. This photoelectric cell consists of, so semi-cylindrical cathode and rod like anode. So anode will be in the form of one rod. I will write like this. It is like one rod. So cathode is connected to battery positive end and anode is connected to battery positive end, negative end. Cathode is connected to negative, anode is connected to battery positive with a microammeter. The purpose of this microammeter is to measure the current. Okay, Nara, and here one window will be provided. Through this window, the cathode can be exposed to radiation. So this is the regarding construction of this photoelectric cell. After construction, then working as usual, you know. So actually, what is the working will be? So radiation of suitable frequency allowed to incident on the cathode. So then electrons are ejected because of the photoelectric effect. That is, ejected electrons are accelerated. So in photoelectric effect, when radiation of suitable frequency incident on the cathode, then from the cathode electrons are ejected out. So that electrons will be accelerated towards anode because anode is of positive terminal. So when electrons reaching to anode, the current will flow in the circuit. That current can be measured by using this microammeter. So actually, what is the working principle of this photoelectric cell? Photoelectric cell will convert which energy to which energy? Light energy. Light energy. This photoelectric cell will convert the light energy into electric energy. Into which energy? Electric energy. So the radiation of suitable frequency, which is nothing but light, when it is incident on this cathode, so current will flow. So light energy converted into electric energy. That is the working principle of this photoelectric cell. And regarding the working, when radiation of suitable frequency incident, so then what happens? Current will be generated. Because of flowing of electrons from the cathode to anode, the current will be generated. But what is the current which is produced in this photoelectric cell is a very small current. Because of that small current to measure, we will use microammeter. So that current needed amplification. What is the output here will get? So that is given to amplifier in order to amplify amplification. What is amplification? So okay, that is will get in communication system, which is not there in syllabus. Okay, now so that is for amplification. This you have to write regarding the construction and working of photocell. After actually this part they given in your NCERT textbook. So one separate part. Okay, Nara. And what are the applications of these photocells? Applications also another important question for 3 marks. What are the applications of photocells? Photocells applications. Many applications are there. So photocells are used in counting devices. Counting devices. When you go for bank nowadays, So automatic counting devices will be there na, there photocells only will be used, and they will be used in so burglar alarms, burglar alarm and fire alarms. The detectors alarms will be there na, they will be used, and they will be used in automatic so automatic street light, so street lights, on and off devices, on and off devices. Many applications are there, and in industrial application they are used to so detect the holes. So in order to detect faults or holes, so holes in a sheets, metal sheets, in order to detect we will use so these photocells. Many applications are there. So applications of photocells, another important question for 2 marks. So minimum you need to remember 2 to 3 applications. Like this many applications are there for these photocells. Even these photocells will be used in theatres, movie theatres, for reproducing the sound which is there on a film. So movie will be there on the film, in order to reproduce the sound, so they will use these photocells only. So photocells will be used when light is coming from the 2 sources, in order to find out that illumination. So okay, that complexity of that source can be detected by using these photocells. So there are many number of applications are there based on these photocells. So this is a topic based on photoelectric cell principle, working and applications. So important question for 3 marks. By this, so we have completed a part of this dual nature and radiation. So till now, what are the properties of light we studied, and that properties are explained by which theory of light? Once we will have so glance revision. So we come to know which one, the property of reflection and property of refraction and property of interference and property of diffraction. Interference and the property of diffraction and the property of which one? Polarization. The next property of photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. So these are the properties we come to know till now regarding the light. These are the properties of light. Properties of light. Okay, Nara? So reflection property, refraction property, interference property, diffraction property, polarization and photoelectric effect. So actually reflection, refraction can be explained both by Newton theory, so particle theory and also wave theory. According to the reflection Newton corpusculus theory, so light is a which nature? Particle nature. But according to the interference and diffraction and polarization, what is particle nature? Nature of the light is particle nature. So according to explaining this, so light is a wave nature. But again, this wave nature could have succeeded for explaining the reflection and refraction also. Are you getting Ara? So for explaining reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, polarization, so what is the nature of the light? We will consider wave nature. But for explaining the photoelectric effect, once again we applied which principle, which theory? Planck's quantum theory. According to Planck's quantum theory, what is the nature of the light? Particle nature. So particle nature. Are you getting Ara? For explaining some properties, light is behaving like a particle. For explaining some property, light is behaving like a wave. So means what? Which is the correct, which is the wrong? Here you cannot tell. So this particle nature is wrong according to the photoelectric effect, and you cannot tell according to the interference, diffraction, polarization, wave nature is wrong. So both are correct. Both are correct means so light will exhibit a dual nature. What is the dual nature? Dual in the sense two. What is the dual nature which is given by? For explaining some properties, light will act like a particle, and sometimes for explaining a wave. So together light will act both particle and wave. The nature of light is called as dual nature of light. What is the conclusion? The photoelectric effect will give us. According to the Einstein theory or photoelectric effect, the conclusion is light is of particle nature. But according to before chapters, interference or diffraction by Huygens wave theory, light is a wave nature. So both are correct. So what is the conclusion given by, for explaining some property, sometimes like a light acts like a particle, sometimes like a wave. So together light having which nature? Dual nature. So this is called as dual nature of radiation. Dual nature of radiation. Radiation made up of, that radiation consists of two types of nature, particle nature and also wave nature. This is called as dual nature. Why the chapter name given dual nature? The conclusion of photoelectric effect, light is a particle nature. Before topics, light is a wave nature. Therefore, after photoelectric effect property, the light behaves like a dual nature. So that's why the chapter name dual nature of matter and radiation. Matter and radiation. Are you getting Ara? They will ask what is the conclusion of the photoelectric effect. According to the photoelectric effect, what is the nature of the light? So light nature is a particle nature. Okay Nara? And one more important point, let me tell you, last point for this dual nature of radiation. What is the meaning of power of a source? In numericals we are getting so what is the power of a source? Power is nothing but a rate of work done by time. So actually work done nothing but a amount of energy. Work done, energy nothing but a, so capacity to do the work. Can I write E by T? So actually what is the power of source? When a source is emitting the light, so power of the source is nothing but how many number of photons are emitting or how much amount of energy. Since light is the form of energy, how much amount of energy emitted per second. So energy will be measured in terms of photon energy. Energy of the photon given by h mu. What is the light emitted by the source will having many number of photons. If there are n number of photons are there, each of energy will be E, then total energy will be given by n into E by T. So power of a source can be written as n into E by T. From this, the number of photons emitted per second can be written as, so n by T will be equal to P by E. While doing numericals, we will use this principle, where E is equal to h mu, which can be also written as hc by lambda. When I write hc by lambda, I will get P into lambda divided by E. So which one? Divided by h into c. This one formula you should know. So what is this formula will give you? How many number of photons, the number of photons incident or emitted, number of photons emitted per second, number of photons emitted per second. But here one more important point is there. What is the meaning of intensity of light? Intensity of light. Intensity of light represented by the symbol I. That intensity of light according to the dual nature, according to, so which one? Planck's quantum theory is the how many number of photons emitted, the number of photons emitted or incident, emitted per second per unit area. So that is the definition for intensity. Intensity is the measure of how many number of photons are incident per second per unit area. If there are n number of photons, or you can also call, so total amount of energy. I can also write it as, so total amount of energy, total energy emitted per second per unit area. Total energy emitted per second per unit area will be given by, so total energy value will be given by what? Can I write if there are how many number of photons are there n, each of energy E divided by what? A into which one? T. So n into E divided by what? A into T. Can I write but actually n into E by T value will be equal to how much? P. Therefore I can write I is equal to P by E. So this is the relation between what and what? Intensity and so power. Intensity also can be defined as the power of radiation, the power radiated by the source per unit area. The power per 1 square unit area is called as intensity. So whenever the A value is equal to either 1 meter square or 1 centimeter square, so I value will be equal to P. How to identify which is I, which is P? I unit is given by what? Watt. Power unit are given by watt. Whereas the intensity unit are given by, so watt by meter square. Watt by meter square. So these points you needed to know for doing numericals based on the photoelectric effect. Numericals based on which effect? Photoelectric effect. So after completion of this, so next topic is, by this class we can finish. So this chapter, dual nature of matter and radiation. So the last part of this chapter is de Broglie hypothesis. What is de Broglie's hypothesis? The scientist de Broglie. So actually, according to after photoelectric effect, we come to know, so radiation is of which nature? Dual nature. But total universe, so universe is made up of matter and radiation. Matter plus radiation. So what is meaning of matter? You know that now, which having some mass, which occupies some space. But now we come to know radiation having which nature? Dual nature. What is the nature? Dual nature. Then he argued that, he assumed that, how? Because total universe is made up of matter and radiation. Then, so since radiation having dual nature, so universe is made up of matter and radiation. How nature having dual nature? So matter also having dual nature. Matter means any massive particle which having some mass. So what I want to tell? So de Broglie hypothesis, if you want to write in statement, so what we can able to write, according to the de Broglie, every material particle, if I consider any particle, proton, neutron, electron, any particle, if it is a particle and which having some mass, but according to de Broglie, so it having which nature? Dual nature. That particle, it is a particle, electron is a particle, no need to prove. But how can we tell electron is a electron is a wave? So we needed proof, electron is a wave. So but he made only one assumption. What is that assumption is? So every material particle is associated with a wave known as, every material particle is associated with a wave known as de Broglie wave. So what is that wave name is? De Broglie wave. Okay Nara? Are you getting Nara? So, or that wave has one more particular name, it is also called as matter wave. So what is the meaning of matter wave? Matter wave is nothing but so you can tell this is the definition for matter wave. So what is matter wave? Actually what is de Broglie hypothesis? According to the de Broglie, since universe is made up of matter and radiation, but already we concluded that radiation is a dual nature. How radiation has in dual nature? So matter also having dual nature. If you take any massive particle of this universe, is associated with one wave, that wave name only called as matter wave. So what is matter wave? So every material particle is associated with a wave, that wave known as either de Broglie wave or matter wave. Conclusion, hypothesis, assumption. It is not so proved, it is only assumed. So this de Broglie hypothesis, actually according to the de Broglie, the conclusion is electron also wave. Actually J.J. Thomson is the person who discovered the electron. According to the J.J. Thomson, light is a particle nature. De Broglie has given only a hypothesis, assumption, but no one will accept if you tell I assume that. Now like Newton, like Huygens, he assumed that total universe is filled with a hypothetical medium, but without cannot prove the existence, that was wrong. Like de Broglie assumed that, so like how light is a wave nature, like every material particle, you take electron or anything, according to the de Broglie hypothesis, electron also which nature? Electron also, so compulsory of which nature? Wave nature, dual nature. So J.J. Thomson discovered the electron and his son name, so J.P. Thomson. So G.P. Thomson. So G.P. Thomson, he conducted one experiment to show electron having wave nature. Electron having which nature? Wave nature. So actually in syllabus, Davison and Garmer experiment is there, that will give you so experimental verification for de Broglie hypothesis. But actually the de Broglie has awarded Nobel Prize because of the dual nature of matter. His hypothesis was not wrong, it was correct only. Later on it was proved that electron having dual nature. Okay, Nara, we like wave nature and also particle nature. Are you getting, Nara? So, but in our syllabus as per NCERT, so that topic is there now, the Davison and Garmer experiment. That experiment is not there, we will not discuss. So, we will not prove the de Broglie hypothesis. Just we will come to know what is the de Broglie hypothesis. Okay, Nara? So, what is matter wave completed? Now, important topic we will discuss is expression for de Broglie wavelength. Expression for which wavelength? De Broglie wavelength. We will discuss important derivation. So, expression for de Broglie wavelength. So, according to de Broglie, every material particle is associated with wave. Whatever the particle let it be, it is having one wave is associated. So, that material particle is called as what? That wavelength of that material particle is called as what? De Broglie wavelength. What is that wavelength name? It's called as what? De Broglie wavelength. Actually, I think so. You have studied in without completion of dual nature of matter. You have studied so atoms and nuclei chapter. There in atoms chapter, so that quantization rule of angular momentum. So Bohr could not explain. That is explained by de Broglie only. De Broglie concept of dual nature of matter and radiation explained that why angular momentum is quantized. Can you remember that? So now expression for the de Broglie wavelength. So according to which one? Planck's quantum theory, the energy associated with the photon is given by E is equal to hp. According to the Planck's quantum theory, the light consists of discrete energy packets called as quanta. Energy of one quanta called as photon. That energy of the photon given by E is equal to hb, or otherwise can write it as hc by lambda. Okay, Nara? But according to Einstein, according to which one? According to Einstein, so whenever a photon is a particle, if that particle is moving with the velocity of light c, so energy associated with the particle given by, according to Einstein, energy and mass both are interrelated. If a photon of mass m moving with the velocity c, the energy of the photon given by E is equal to mc square. Can I write, Ara? Are you getting? Now from which equations? From equations 1 and 2. So equations 1 and 2. What can I able to write? So 1 and 2. I can write which one? Can I equate both? hc by lambda is equal to mc square. 1c cancel, and what I will get the answer for lambda? Lambda value is equal to h divided by m into c. So this is the expression for de Broglie wavelength. Are you getting, Ara? What is the de Broglie wavelength value? The de Broglie wavelength value given by lambda is equal to h divided by m into c. Till now understood? What is de Broglie hypothesis and what is matter wave? What is the expression for the de Broglie wavelength? Okay. Now actually I want to calculate de Broglie wavelength for electron. For a electron, so what is the expression for the de Broglie wavelength? So if the photon is moving with the velocity c, the de Broglie wavelength is given by h by c. So for a particle of continuation further de Broglie wavelength for a particle moving with a velocity v. So de Broglie wavelength given by lambda is equal to h divided by m into v. We can also calculate then lambda is equal to h divided by m into v value is equal to p. What is P? Since momentum. So momentum of particle. So that momentum of particle given by momentum is the product of which one? Product of mass and velocity. Correct, Ara? So lambda value is equal to h by p. We can also calculate the momentum. P is equal to h divided by lambda. By knowing the wavelength of the particle, we can calculate the momentum of particle. So P value is equal to h divided by lambda. So lambda value is equal to h divided by what I written? P. Okay, Nara? But we know that what is the relation between kinetic energy and momentum. When a particle, so kinetic energy and momentum given by kinetic energy, can I write E will be equal to P square by 2m. The relation between kinetic energy and momentum. First year you derived. So kinetic energy and momentum given by P square by 2m. From this P value, root over 2 into m into E. Now I want to calculate de Broglie wavelength for electron. What I want to calculate? De Broglie wavelength for electron. For electron, what is the de Broglie wavelength? That I want to derive. So for electron, now I will call here better electron. For electron moving with a velocity v, lambda value I written, then remaining. This is the momentum of electron. I will call momentum of electron. Now P value will be equal to root over 2me. Then what happened to lambda? Lambda value will be given by h divided by root over 2 into m into E. This is the formula for de Broglie wavelength when you know the kinetic energy of particle or electron. Any particle kinetic energy if you know, then you can calculate the de Broglie wavelength. And one more important point we know that, so potential means we know that the work done will be equal to kinetic energy will be equal to, so what is the formula for potential? When electron accelerated by a potential v, so v value is equal to w by E. This is small v and here it is capital V. We know that the potential is the work done for accelerating the electron. Work done will be stored in the form of kinetic energy which will be equal to E into E. The kinetic energy of the electron, when electron is of charge E accelerated by a potential v, the kinetic energy of the electron given by E into E. So if I substitute this, lambda value h divided by root over 2 into m into E into V. So this is the expression for de Broglie wavelength. When this formula can be written? This formula can be written. So whenever a electron of charge E accelerated by a potential V, then the de Broglie wavelength value given by h divided by root over 2 into m into E into V, which can be also written as, since h value constant, mass value constant, E value constant, we get a 12.26 divided by root V angstroms. Whenever if they ask to calculate the de Broglie wavelength of electron, whenever an electron is accelerated by a potential V, the de Broglie wavelength is given by 12.26 divided by root V. Are you getting Ara? When electron is accelerated with some potential, with the electron a wave is associated. That wave is called as what? A de Broglie wave. That a de Broglie wave wavelength value given by lambda. So lambda value will be equal to h 12.26 divided by which one? Root V. Are you getting Ara? Then immediately you can ask one doubt. Sir, if I taken one ball, I throw that ball. When that ball is moving, so with that ball also one wave is associated. As per here de Broglie, lambda value is equal to h by mv. When mass of the particle is increasing, so what happened to the lambda value? Decrease. So that's why if the particle, macroscopic particles whose size will be bigger, lambda value will be very very smaller, which cannot be detected. Detection of that lambda value will be very very small. Understood Ara? So this is the de Broglie wavelength. After completion of the de Broglie wavelength, here we will get one controversy of this de Broglie concept with which one? With the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So what is Heisenberg Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Uncertainty principle. According to Heisenberg uncertainty principle, we cannot detect both momentum and position of particle at the exactly same time. So what we can able to write, delta x into delta p should be greater than or equal to, so h by 2 pi. This principle is called as what? Heisenberg uncertainty principle. That is only another. According to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, delta x into delta p value should be greater than h dash by 2 pi. So this principle is telling that you cannot locate exactly both position and momentum at the same time. As per this, generally for electron we know that it has a definite momentum. Momentum can be calculated by knowing the wavelength. If you know the de Broglie wavelength, the momentum can be calculated definite. When p can be definite, then what happened to delta p? 0. When delta p 0, so as per this equation, so delta x value should be equal to infinity, because this product should not be 0. When this product is not 0, when delta p is 0, delta x is infinity. When delta x is 0, delta p should be infinity. Are you getting it? So delta x into delta p. Now delta x is infinity. Delta x is infinity means, so electron, the wave associated with the electron will be spread over for infinite distance. But according to Heisenberg, according to de Broglie, the wave associated with the electron will not be extended to infinite. It will be extended to finite only. So as per the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, the wavelength of the wave associated with the electron should cover all wavelength. But according to this de Broglie hypothesis, the wave associated with the electron will be a finite. Will be a which one? Finite. Are you getting it? So this is one controversy we will get with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And this is about de Broglie hypothesis. In NCERT textbook, Davison and Garmer experiment given. That experiment is no need, that is deleted syllabus. Okay, that experiment no need to discuss. So that's it for dual nature of matter and radiation. Very small and very important chapter. Maximum we can expect 6 marks from this chapter. So every time, many times they given numerical also. Numericals of this chapter also very important. Okay, Nara? So in the next class we will start NCERT numericals of this chapter. Thank you.